What's up, guys? Thursday, April 23rd. We are getting into some push-ups today. So we've got a 14-minute AMRAP, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, increasing rep scheme throughout. We've messed around with this quite a bit over the last couple weeks, so you should be used to it by now. Our movements today are hand release push-ups, alternating jumping lunges, and a backpack sumo deadlift. Before we go through the points of performance on those, we're going to touch on a few movements in the warm-up. First is a plank walkout. We've seen these before. Starting in a full plank position, then he's going to lower to his forearms and back up to his hands. Then he's going back down, and now he's coming back up to his hands, but we want to make sure we're alternating the hand that we come up to each time. So keep an eye on that when you're going through your warm-up, making sure you're alternating. Second is going to be single leg, single arm Romanian deadlifts. So we've done these before. We're going 5 and 5 on each leg. Couple things that we want to consider. You're going to have your weight in the opposite hand of the leg that's on the floor. So the leg that's going back is the hand that your weight is in. We want to focus on keeping our hips neutral. So that means we're not, if you want to do one, so we're not shifting to the side, we're not twisting in any weird way. We're just sending that leg back and then standing up. So he's still approaching this similar to he would a regular deadlift, where he's hinging his hips back, and then this back leg is reaching straight back, it's straight. Ideally, what we want to see is that back leg moving in sync with the torso, so everything moving at one time. This variation is a really good way to get yourself used to that movement. Another thing I want you guys to think about is if you start going with the weight and it's feeling a little funky, go ahead and drop the weight and just work on that movement. All right, so first movement in our 14-minute AMRAP today is hand release push-ups. So what's different with a hand release push-up versus a standard push-up is that our hands are leaving the ground when we hit the bottom. The thing that we want to think about here is, you can't really see it with Rob, but we want to keep the hips and quads off the ground when we're in the bottom of that push-up. So in a perfect hand release push-up, the only thing that's touching the ground is your chest, squeezing your glutes and your quads to keep everything off the ground, and then rising your hands off the floor. And don't stick your butts up in the air just to get that. We're trying to just hold that plank position. If the hand release push-ups are a little too challenging for you right now, no big deal. We're going to modify down to a standard floor push-up. From there, we're modifying to elevated push-ups. So even if you have to modify throughout the workout as you start to fatigue, that's totally fine. Modify as you need to in order to keep moving. The push-ups are going to be the thing in this workout that are going to get the spiciest, the quickest. So we want to make sure to break those up early, probably when you've still got 2 to 4 reps in the tank as we get into the later rep schemes. We don't want to be going to failure with this movement because it's going to take too long to be able to shake it out and get back in. There's a dog across the street, so little reminder of gym life. So remember to break those up a little earlier than you feel like you need to. Second, alternating jumping lunges. We've been doing plenty of these. Keeping the chest nice and tall, a light kiss of the knee to the ground. We don't want to be jamming our knees into the ground. If the jumping is a little funky for you, if you're losing your balance or you're hitting your knee too hard, go ahead and modify to just straight up alternating lunges, remembering to keep your chest tall and your hips neutral. Lastly, sumo deadlift with the backpack. Another movement that we've gotten pretty familiar with over the last couple of weeks. We're going to stand in a nice wide stance over it, treat it like we would anything else, pull those armpits down like someone's trying to tickle you, or like you've got newspapers under your armpits, show off that logo, and then we're going to hinge the hips back, tap the weight down, and then stand up nice and tall, driving through the floor with our legs. That's it for today. What we're looking for in terms of reps is we want everyone to aim to get into that 14 rep round. For our push-up ninjas out there, we want you guys pushing for that round of 16. Have a good one, have a great day, have a good workout.